Hey, what's up, everyone? Back for this Thursday main slate. It's a 5-game slate. Let's jump right into it. Even though it's a short slate, we have really good hitting spots and we have some good pitching spots. So we'll talk about all the spots that I like. Before we get started, if you could drop a like and subscribe, I appreciate that. First pitcher I'm going to go with is going to be Patrick Corbin at 10-3. He gets a really nice ballpark to pitch in. He has a nice price decrease, $900 price decrease from his last start against the Reds. Because he got blown up, gave up 11 hits in just 2 2/3. That's like a worst case scenario from him. You're not really going to see Corbin give up that many hits or that many runs. I expect him to bounce back here nicely against Padres, even though there is like one Padre that I really like on this slate, and we'll get to him later. But Corbin here should be projected for like the most raw points on the slate. Second guy I'm going to go with, you have a couple options. You could play Barrios against Cleveland. You could play Bauer. I like Trevor Bauer because he goes so deep into games. And then here, I like J.A. Happ as a mid-range pitcher if you're looking for somebody cheap. But I'm going to go with Bauer at 9,400. He's been good this year. He's been good. He's gotten blown up in a couple spots, but other than that, he's been really consistent. Still racking up the Ks, 96 and just 83. Only giving up 61 hits. Doesn't give up very many hard hits or hard contact. He's given up a decent amount of walks on the season, but lately he's only given up 2 walks in his last 13 innings pitched. And he goes very deep into games. Like, he's gone over 110 pitches the majority of his starts. He's gone over 120 a couple times. So I feel really good about Bauer. You're getting him to throw a couple more innings than the normal pitcher. You can project him for like 1 or 2 innings at least more than the normal pitcher because he goes just so deep into games. Like, I was probably gonna go with J.A. Happ here at 7,800, but then I looked at he's getting pulled at like low 80s pitches. Sometimes he gets pulled at high 70s. You're not getting 120 pitches out of J.A. Happ anytime soon. So I'd rather pay up a little bit more for Bauer, who you know you're gonna get a ton of pitches. Even though the Twins have a pretty good offense, I feel like with Sano back in there is some strikeouts in the lineup, and Bauer has insane strikeout stuff, and he did drop 30 in the first start against the Twins in opening day. So I think Bauer is in for a really nice start here. So I really like going with those two guys at pitcher because we do have some really good value on this slate. And speaking of value, let's start it off with first baseman Chris Davis. $2,900 facing Guardo. Guardo just doesn't strike that many people out. His swinging strike rate is one of the lowest in the league, if not the lowest for a starting pitcher. So let's see, Guardo. I guess I'll have to start off with his first name. Oh, I spelled it wrong, Gurado. But anyway, Guardo, he's kind of stepped up nicely the last couple starts. But he is still giving up he just has a 11% K rate to lefties. He's gotten really, really lucky. His xFIP against lefties is 5.05. Getting very lucky. Left on base percentage is 75%. So even though his batting average and slugging is very low against lefties, I expect that to turn around given the xFIP being very high and the left on base is extremely high. And he only has an 11% K rate. So a guy like Chris Davis that strikes out an absolute ton gets a really good advantage here facing a low strikeout pitcher against lefties. And Davis has been hitting the ball a little better. He's just coming off his stint on the IL, but after he went like 0 for 56 or whatever, he's been like a decent hitter. Not great, not bad, not terrible, but he has a little bit of power against righties. He has a 184 ISO on the year. I don't mind going him at just $2,900, extremely cheap. Next up at second base, I love Gleyber Torres at 4,600. We really want to target some of the Yankees here, and Torres might be my favorite Yankee. Him and Gary Sanchez. Torres is affordable at 4,600. He's facing Edwin Jackson that's gotten destroyed the first couple, since he's been pitching this year. And Gleyber Torres has a ton of power. Edwin Jackson is getting hit extremely hard against righties in his limited sample this season. He got lit up in Coors last start, and this year he's given up a 1.053 slugging to righties and a 447 average. So it's only been a 42 batter sample size, but all of the home runs have come against righties. And he's given up 6 bombs in just 40 out of 42 batters faced. Just very, very, very bad numbers. He only has a 9.5% K rate to righties. So he's been reverse splits. Gleyber Torres batting from the right side. I really love the spot for him to really put some power, and I feel like he has a great chance to go deep today against Jackson. So looking pretty good so far. I got a really cheap shortstop that I like. Like shortstop today, you have your guys that are priced up. Then you get a really, really cheap player. And I like Manny Machado. 3,500. I don't think that many people are going to play Machado and Corbin. Nobody's going to play them in the same line. But I don't really mind it because Machado at 3,500 is just incredibly cheap. Even if he doesn't get anything done against Corbin, the Nationals have one of the worst bullpens in the league. And Machado has been amazing against lefties, which is why I kind of like him here as a very low-owned play. He has been one of the best hitters in baseball this season against left-handed pitching. When I saw these splits, I was taken aback. But he's batting .389 against left-handed pitching, 6 home runs in 36 at-bats. That gives him an insane 528 ISO and a 917 slugging percentage this season. So yes, the matchup is extremely scary against Corbin, but as you can see, his numbers are really good against lefties, and he's dirt cheap at 3,500. Like, you're not getting a better spot, a better price tag down here than playing Manny Machado. Like, most players down in this range haven't even played this season, and then you get Simeon priced above him a little bit. But I'll definitely take a chance on Machado at 3,500. That is dirt cheap. And last but not least, I like Piscotty at 3,500. And it also is a short slate, so I don't really like playing a pitcher against my hitter or a hitter against my pitcher. But on a 5-game slate, I don't really mind it. It's also a great way to be different. Anyway, Piscotty is only $3,500. He's been incredible against lefties, and he's getting to face Tyler Skaggs here. First, we'll look at Piscotty, then we'll look at Tyler Skaggs. I like a few of the A's, too. They're extremely cheap, and they have some great power against lefties, like Chris Davis has some power against lefties. Piscotty, Pinder, Mark Canha. This season, Piscotty is really, really crushing lefties. .377 batting average and 53 at-bats. He's gone yard 3 times. So he has a .623 slugging percentage and a .245 ISO. Really like the spot here for Steven Piscotty, and he's dirt cheap. And then, speaking of Tyler Skaggs, Skaggs gets into trouble against righties, and this A's team is extremely righty-heavy, so I don't mind stacking them up. This season, Skaggs has given up a .447 slugging to righties and a .263 average. And last season as well, he struggles against righties too with a .417 slugging and a .272 average. His entire career, he's been much better against lefties. Righties have been hitting him decently. And a guy like Piscotty that has tremendous numbers against lefties. They also get a decent ballpark upgrade going into Los Angeles. I like Piscotty here. So that does it. Those are the plays that I want to go with today. Going to go up at pitching. Going to go with some great value in Chris Davis, Machado, Piscotty. Pay up for Torres. Still leaves you with $4,000 left to fill it out. Other players I want to mention. On the Yankees, I like Aaron Hicks a lot in the outfield. On the A's, I like Chad Pinder at 3,500. Profar at 3,300 as a switch hitter. Mark Canha at 3,800. All those guys have incredible numbers against lefties. Simeon as well is 3,600, probably leading off against a lefty. I like him too if you don't want to play Machado. But I'd rather just take a chance on Machado. He's just too cheap to ignore. And same thing with Franmil Reyes at 4,000, ton of power with him. And the Padres have been scoring some runs lately, especially in Petco. Like, even though Petco is a great ballpark to pitch in, ever since they moved the fences in, it's been a much better hitting ballpark than people realize. So I still like some Padres, not a lot of them, but I like the guys that are cheap, like Machado. And yeah, that should be it for the video. And I don't really want to... I didn't talk about anybody in Texas. On the Ranger side, I really like Odor at 3,700. He's cheap and he has a ton of power. Cabrera too at 4,300 is cheap. And the outfield, you're probably going to get DeShields batting second at 4,000. I like him. And on the Orioles side, I talked about Chris Davis. He's my favorite play because he's so cheap. Maybe Rio Ruiz if he can crack the lineup at 3,000. And Broxton as well at 3,900. So that does it for the video. Those are the handful of teams I want to target today. Are the Yankees first. I like some Orioles. Well, I like Yankees first, then A's. A couple of the cheap hitters from the Orioles. Rangers too. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, you can drop a like, and you can follow me on Twitter here at the DFS Process. So you can also check out the early slate if you haven't already, and we'll see you back at it tomorrow.